You're watching News 24 Live. Welcome to our Thursday Super Rugby preview and prediction show. Today we are discussing round 15 this weekend. Just 4 rounds to go before the playoffs and finals. I'm joined in studio by our rugby panel from Sport 24, editor Garen Lamley and chief rugby writer Rob Howing. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you today?
Well, Nick, very well, thanks.
In the midst of load shedding, are we going to manage this?
Yeah. Hopefully it's not going to be a dark weekend for our rugby teams.
Oh, here we go. Spot on, Rob, with the puns as usual. I'm going to start with you then, Rob. First up, the Chiefs versus the Bulls, early Friday morning. The Bulls desperate to break, I believe, an 8-match losing streak on tour. First time that the last time they beat the Chiefs, I believe, as well, was in 2010. And I believe they've also identified the breakdown as a sort of key area. They've got Stegman and Du Plessis back. They're going to obviously be up against the likes of Sam Cane and Liam Messam.
Yes, could be a good game. A little bit of a concern, I think, that they lost that first game to the Blues. That was a bit of a sort of a sobering result for a lot of South Africans. We all really wanted the Bulls to get a good head of steam on tour. So a bit of a disaster first up. Huge pressure on them now to try and turn it around against the Chiefs. The question is, can they? Yeah. The Chiefs obviously have a pretty recent pedigree as a sort of champion or near champion side. Still lots of good players in their midst. No Sonny Bill, which probably does the Bulls a little bit of a favour. The Chiefs have also got a few issues in their second row. They've got a few players bracketed because of injury problems. There's still no Brody Retallick, and I think they've got Ross Filippo bracketed as a possible to start. Garen as and they're having to pretty much pull him out of the commentary box or something because he hasn't been playing that much rugby. He's been playing club rugby or something, and he's about to answer an SOS. So you've got to think Flip van der Merwe, Victor Matfield, pretty settled combo, classy combo for the Bulls. You think second row, lineouts, etc., should be an area that the Bulls will want to target. And as you say, the breakdown too. I'm glad that Stegman is back in the mix because he's a much improved player, I think, in the last year or two, and not giving away as many penalties as before, and quite a nuisance at the breakdown. So he'll go head to head with Cane quite well. Looking at that Chiefs team, it still looks reasonable in many areas. Reasonable enough maybe to do the job. You can't just willy-nilly predict South African teams winning in New Zealand. So I'm afraid I'm slightly inclined towards the Chiefs, or that perhaps the Bulls for a losing bonus point again.
Quite remarkable that the Bulls are still topping the South African Conference. Staying with the South African Conference, Garen, next up on Friday at 11:40, we've got the Sharks against the Reds. The Sharks beast is the only change I see in their side, and the Reds have also only made one change. Kurandrani is back in the wing, not a bad guy to bring in. How do you see that going?
Yeah, interesting game that. I'm a little bit torn as to which way to go on this game. You know, the Sharks last weekend, a lot of controversy in that match. The referee, the TMO, the scoreline obviously flattered the Waratahs. I don't know how close the Sharks would have actually got to winning had everything gone their way or been called down the middle. So, and the Reds, for their part, they really put one over the Rebels, who I think both Rob and I had picked to win that game. So the Reds maybe found some form. They've obviously got some players that just haven't been performing this year. They'll want to finish the tournament on a high. Back at home, haven't got too many more matches to play at home. As you say, Beast back strengthens obviously the front row, but the Sharks have been fairly settled in the front row and fairly dominant in their matches they've played at scrum time. So I don't really know how much that's going to boost the team. I've got a funny feeling they're going to be up for this game. They want to get their campaign back on track, so they can't really make the playoffs, but certainly give South Africa something to smile about. They lost their first. They've got a tough matches coming up as well in the remainder of their tour. So I see old John Smith, Gary Gold having a stern word with the team. I think it's going to be an ugly victory for the Sharks. Nothing pretty about this game. But I'm going to go for the away win, narrowly though. I wouldn't be surprised if the Reds came within 7 points in the end. But for me, a South African victory to cheer us up on Friday afternoon. It will finish in the afternoon by Sharks by 5.